Hey guys, welcome back to part 2 for my eyeshadow basics video. Okay, so the first video I talked about primers, bases, and transitional colors. And this video I'm going to talk about brushes and like the first eyeshadow palettes that you should get. Okay, so first I'm going to start off with the brushes. For eyeshadow, for you to apply eyeshadow, you're going to need an eyeshadow brush. Okay, so this one is a MAC 252 eyeshadow brush. I'm not suggesting that you go out and buy a MAC eyeshadow brush. There's a lot of affordable alternatives to this brush. You could go to Target, pick up some e.l.f. brushes. They have nice eyeshadow brushes. e.l.f. does, as well as Sonia Kashuk, and this is a nice eyeshadow brush by Sonia Kashuk. You do not have to get the MAC brushes, but my suggestion is I think you should invest in a whole brush roll, because once you start to learn how to do eyeshadows, then everything else will come into play, like your foundation, your lipstick, your eyebrows, contouring, highlighting, whatever you want to do to your face. So like you have to have an eyeshadow brush to apply the eyeshadow on your lid. So that is what the eyeshadow brush is for, to pack the color on your lid. The fluffier the brush, the softer the color. The harder the brush, the deeper the color will be. So me, I like to pack my eyeshadow on. I do not sweep it back and forth. I like to pack it because I like the color to be concentrated. Also, you're going to need a blending brush. There's a couple of different blending brushes. These are two different blending brushes. As you can see, this one is fluffier than this one. This one I like to use when I don't want the color too concentrated into my crease, and I use this one when I want the color concentrated into my crease. So when you are using brushes, you kind of blend the eyeshadow when you're applying it at the same time. So like usually if you're going to place just a color on your lid, it's alright to use a sponge, but I do not recommend a sponge. But this is what I started off using, was a sponge. But I didn't use multiple colors. I only placed like one eyeshadow on my lid and that was it. But if you want to use multiple colors and then bring dimension to your eyes, like darken your outer V, place some color under your eyebrow area, the sponge applicator is not going to do that. So you're going to need brushes like this to achieve that effect. You use the eyeshadow brush for the eyelid, the blending brush for the crease, and also the eyeshadow brush to pack the color under your eyebrow. So these are the 3 essential brushes that you're going to need, or the 2 brushes you're going to need: a blending brush or an eyeshadow brush. It doesn't matter what blending brush you get. You could either get this one, which is a little smaller, and I think MAC has one, but I forgot the name of it. Coastal Scents has one, and a lot of people buy the one that's from Coastal Scents because it's only $5. This one is a Bdellium Tools, and this one came in a brush roll kit, which was also affordable, that I purchased from eBay, and it was like I think $25 or something like that. But the MAC brushes, this one's an Inglot brush. I really like this brush, and this one is $19 on the Inglot website. I really thought that they would be more expensive, but they weren't. So you're gonna need a decent brushes, but my suggestion to you is to purchase a whole brush roll. This is a Coastal Scents brush roll, and it is $34 on the Coastal Scents website. A lot of times it does go on sale for half price, so you can wait for the sale to purchase the brushes. And it comes with a whole bunch of brushes. So if you're starting off with makeup, then all the brushes that you need are in this brush roll. The only brush that's not in the brush roll is the blending brush. But you have a lot of different sizes of the eyeshadow brush in here, as well as angle eyeshadow brushes and other brushes that you would need if you're going to start doing your whole face. Okay, so invest in the brush roll, okay? And these are some pretty decent brushes. A lot of people purchase like brushes from eBay, but I had an eBay brush roller and I really didn't like the bristles of the brush. These are natural hairs in the Coastal Scents brush roll. Some have natural hair, most of them have natural hair, and some of them have synthetic, like the concealer brush, but you want that brush to be synthetic because you're using wet products. So the concealer brush is synthetic and the foundation brush is synthetic. So if you don't want to spend $34 on this brush roll, Sonia Kashuk has brush rolls all the time. Well, not an actual brush roll, but they have brush collections all the time. And this one I haven't opened yet, and this is from Sonia Kashuk. And there's almost every single brush you could think of in there. You have the powder brush, a dome brush, a fan brush, eyeshadow brush, blending brush, doe foot brush, concealer brush, eyeliner brush, and a brow and brush comb. So this is a nice brush roll. That one was from the, I think, the Christmas limited edition. But they always have different brush rolls and different collections. Sonia Kashuk does at Target. Okay, so the last thing that I'm going to talk about is palettes for beginners if you want to start doing your eyeshadow on a regular basis. If you are doing your eyeshadow on a regular basis, you want to start off with neutral colors. You do not want to start off with color because you really don't know what you're doing with the color. You do not want to go out looking like a clown. And I like to use matte eyeshadows. A lot of people like to use shimmer. The shimmer ones blend better than the matte ones. You have to work a lot harder to blend down the matte eyeshadows. So I like to use matte eyeshadows, but that is what your blending brush is for, which is this brush right here, is to help blend it out. But when you have a matte eyeshadow, you have to go back and forth until it actually fades away or fades down. So on my eyes I have shimmer on right now, but I like to use matte more than shimmer. Okay, so I have a couple of suggestions for some affordable palettes. My all-time #1 palette that is like very affordable and it's at your local drugstore. The other items that I show you are mainly online. If you don't like to buy stuff that's online, I'm pretty sure Maybelline or Revlon or companies like that have a neutral palette. But my #1 neutral palette of all time is the Wet n Wild Vanity palette. They don't sell this anymore, and then if you go on eBay, they like jack up the price like triple the amount. So hopefully they'll come back out with the Vanity palette. But as you see, they have 3 colors that's matte and 3 colors that's shimmer. Okay, so the matte side has like a color you can use for your brow bone, a color you can use for your lid, and a color that you can use for your crease. So if you use this every day, you will kind of master a neutral eye, and once you master the neutral eye, then you should move on to color. Okay, so I have 2 palettes from Coastal Scents that I think are very essential for a beginner, and they are the neutral palette, and then you have the 88 warm palette. The neutral palette are bigger eyeshadows. It's 28 eyeshadows in this palette, and it looks like this. They do not come out, but this is like a palette that has almost all the neutral shades that you need. It has different textures: shimmer, satin, matte. They have a couple of matte ones with glitter in it. You know, you have a big range in this particular palette. BH Cosmetics also have a palette, and I think they are almost the same. Let me look. Matter of fact, they are exactly the same. So I'm going to show you. This one is the one from BH Cosmetics. So they are exactly the same as I was just looking at it right now. So this one is the BH Cosmetics, and this one is the Coastal Scents. And as you can see, the colors are damn near similar. They're just going in the opposite direction. Okay, so this one's the Coastal Scents, this one's the BH Cosmetics. I think the Coastal Scents one is cheaper The Coastal Scents I think is like $11, but these palettes are always on sale on the Coastal Scents website, as well as BH Cosmetics, because I purchased mine for $10, and I think the regular price is like $15 to $19. But these are some wonderful palettes for you to start off with. And the last palette is, oh, I forgot to talk about the Coastal Scents Warm palette. This one has 88 colors in it, but they are a lot smaller, and they look like this. So you have more than just neutral colors in there. You have some smoky colors as well. So if you want more colors, then I suggest you purchase this 88 Warm palette. And it has like a lot of different colors, and this palette is very, very pigmented. A lot of the eyeshadows are very pigmented, and they are very affordable. So you really don't need a big eyeshadow. As you can see, I haven't even put a dent in this palette yet, and I done had it for like 3 years. So this is the Coastal Scents Warm palette, and they are always on sale. The 88 palettes are always on sale. So you could probably purchase this for like $9 or something like that on the Coastal Scents website. So if you guys didn't know about Coastal Scents, Coastal Scents or BH Cosmetics, I suggest you check them out, because their makeup brushes are like super affordable. So you won't have to spend all your money at the MAC counter, because I have a lot of MAC, but I have more drugstore and more Coastal Scents and BH Cosmetics than I do MAC, because MAC is like pretty pricey. Okay, so the last palette I'm going to talk about is the e.l.f. I forgot, I think this is 144 eyeshadow palette. This one is on the website for $15, and you get 144 colors. Look how big this palette is. It is just monstrous. So they have a neutral 144 palette as well as a colorful. Like I was saying, they have the neutral 144 palette, and they have a colorful 144 palette. And this palette is very nice. I really don't use this palette too often because it's like super huge, but I do use it, especially if you are a working woman and you can't wear color to work. This palette is like wonderful. Okay, so like I said, this is on the e.l.f. website for $15. Sometimes, like during the holidays, the drugstores will carry e.l.f. Like I know Walgreens for holidays, they will bring out e.l.f., but any other time they do not have e.l.f. So eyeslipface.com is like a good brand. You will get addicted once you go to that website, as well as the Coastal Scents website, and as well as the BH Cosmetics website. They have the most affordable palettes. You can also go on eBay. They have some pretty decent palettes on there, but you'll be waiting all week long because most of the vendors are from China. So that is the end of my eyeshadow basics video. This is part 2. Don't forget to check out part 1. Don't forget to please rate, comment, and subscribe, and I'll talk to you guys real soon. Bye.